is Heather, and I am glad you are here today because I was tagged by Olive Branch Inspirations, link down in the description to her channel, but I was tagged to do the Run Disney tag. So I'm going to be answering some questions about my experiences with Run Disney. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to be tagging 3 other YouTubers who I would like to see answer these questions as well. So with that being said, if this is your first time here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any of the running adventures that I have coming out all the time. Let's jump in and get started. Number 1, how did you hear about Run Disney? To be perfectly honest, thinking back on it, I'm not sure if perhaps my sister told me about it or if when I was getting into running, I'd always had this dream in my head of doing a marathon. And I had heard somewhere that Disney did a marathon, and so I did the research on that. So I'm not sure if she first told me about it or if it happened while I was doing research into marathons and Disney and running in Florida. So it could be either one of those things. I would believe either one, but it's been so long at this point, I don't really remember where the first idea actually came around. Number 2, how many Run Disney races have you run? Okay, thinking back on it, let's see, there was a marathon, half marathon, princess half marathon, and then COVID hit right after that, and then I did the marathon. That was the first one coming back after COVID. So at least 5 that I can think of, and then virtual races as well. So if we're not counting the virtual races, if we're just doing the IRL races, then I have done 5, and I do plan on doing more. Run Disney is just a fun experience, so I don't go for time. You go to just kind of experience running at Disney. So there you go. Number 3, what is your favorite Run Disney or race weekend? Honestly, the only ones that I have been to at this point in time are Marathon Weekend in January, and then I have also done Princess Weekend. I like both of those for different reasons. I like the Marathon Weekend just because of just kind of the grandness of it. It's the only time that Disney does a full marathon. It's the only time that they offer anything that's like the Dopey, because obviously the other weekends don't have the full marathon. And so you have tons and tons and tons of people that are trying to pull off a Dopey challenge or pull off a marathon. There's lots of great stories, lots of people that you see that have overcome a lot of stuff in order just to be there. And so you kind of get that feeling, that vibe from it. And then I also really liked Princess Weekend for a different reason. There's a lot more emphasis, more of a celebration of women. And so obviously you see a lot more female runners. There are some male runners there, but I would definitely say that they are outnumbered by the women that are there on the course. And it's a totally different feeling. It's not as big as Marathon Weekend. So, of course you have a lot of runners that are there, but, nowhere near the amount of runners that you would get during Marathon Weekend. I do have it on my radar to at some point do the springtime surprise and at some point to do wine and dine. And so once I've had those experiences, I will definitely come back and share what I have experienced with them. But, like I said, those are the only ones that I have done so far, and I've really enjoyed them, but for different reasons. Number 4, what is your favorite part to run through? Now, I know most people are going to say Magic Kingdom, because I will admit there is nothing like taking that run down Main Street, seeing the castle in front of you, and then looping around, running through the castle. Lots of opportunities to get your picture taken. There's great photo opportunities there. So there is a very special feeling about that. I do really enjoy running through Epcot though. And I don't know if it's because I've already gotten into the mindset at that point of I am almost done. And so you just kind of feel this elation of knowing that the finish line is close, but it is very scenic. It's very beautiful. Being able to run through the countries, being able to run through parts of Future World, seeing Spaceship Earth as you are approaching the finish line. That's something that I really enjoy. And so, I would have to say probably Epcot, although Magic Kingdom, very, very close second, because there is nothing like that feeling of running down Main Street. Number 5, what is your favorite Run Disney medal? I have 2 of them, and I've chosen them for different reasons. The first one is virtual medal. My favorite virtual medal is definitely this one right here, and that is the Haunted Mansion Virtual 5K from 2020. It's got the gorgeous wallpaper print that's on the ribbon, and you've got this super heavy kind of brass-like type metal. You've got Madame Leota's face in there that's covered with glass, so it's kind of like you're looking into the crystal ball and seeing her, and it's beautiful. I love this one, and that's just because how much I love Haunted Mansion. It's my favorite. And if we're talking about IRL races, then I would have to say the marathon medal from this last year. It's just absolutely stunning in person, just this iridescent rainbow effect. It spins so that you get both Mickey and Minnie on the medal. This is a great size, it's nice and big, and it's just a nice memory of a moment in time in Disney history, celebrating the 50th anniversary, and of course, the achievement of finishing a marathon, the first time that I finished a marathon on Disney property. So that's probably my favorite IRL medal. Number 6, what 3 songs are on your Run Disney playlist? I actually do have a separate playlist that I have put together for myself, and it's all Disney stuff. And so if I'm needing to be in a Disney frame of mind to do a race, then if I'm, training or racing or something like that, or I just am in a Disney mood, then this is the one that I listen to. Of course, playlists, I tend to shift fairly often, but there's 3 that always end up on my Run Disney playlist. One of them would be Almost There from The Princess and the Frog, just because I love Tiana. I love that song. It's upbeat, it's fun, I love it. The second one would be How Far I'll Go from Moana. Just very inspiring and just keeps me moving. And the third one would be In the Open Air from Brave. I'm a huge fan of Merida, and that one just makes me feel just, free and open and ready to run. And so those 3 always end up on my Run Disney playlist. Number 7, do you go for a PR at a Disney race? Usually I do not, and that is because there's only so much that is in my control when I'm trying to go for a PR. And unfortunately, the time that I always go to run in Florida is always the beginning of the year, where the weather is just so unpredictable. I've been there when it's freezing, and I've been there when it is burning up, both times in January. So I don't tend to try and go for a PR just because I feel like there's not enough that's in my control that I can really do that. And plus, I want to kind of slow down, take my time, and just enjoy the experience. That being said, I have hit a PR at a Disney race before. My fastest half marathon was at the Princess Half Marathon in 2020. I was not going for a PR, but it just kind of happened. So even though I don't typically try to aim for one, sometimes you get lucky. So mostly I'm just there to absorb everything that's happening around me. It's an experience. And that's kind of how I treat all the big races that I go to, the big marathons and stuff like that. I'm just trying to finish because I really want to absorb everything that's happening to me and just kind of make a memory of that race. So that's what I'm aiming for. Number 8, what characters do you always stop for? I very, very rarely stop for characters, and that's just because I've been going to Disney for so long that most of the characters that I have ever wanted to see, I already have pictures with. But there are some that I will stop and take a really quick selfie with. I may not get in line with them, but I will be near them and take a selfie with them. And usually the number 1 character that I will do that for is Piglet, just because Piglet is my absolute favorite character. I have a collection of Piglet stuff that I've had for years. So I've always been a Piglet fan. And so if I see Piglet out on the course, then of course I'm going to stop and get a selfie. Stopping for a character is not usually a thing that I would do, but I will make an exception for Piglet. Number 9, what is your favorite pre and post race meal? Before I go out on a race, I will, if I have time to eat, and that's a big if, because if you go on a Run Disney race, you know that you are starting super early in the morning because they are trying to filter as many runners as they can before they have to open the park up to guests and make sure that they can get roads open so that people can access different parts of the resort. So it's super, super early in the morning, but if I am feeling like I need to take something in, usually my pre-race meal is going to be oatmeal with peanut butter, banana, and honey. That's just kind of a standard one for me. My stomach reacts well to it. It keeps me full for as long as I need to be, especially until I can get that first fueling stop. So that's the one that I usually tend to stick to. And after a race, it really kind of depends on how long the race is. If I'm going for like a half marathon or a marathon, then of course I'm going to be hungrier once it's done and I will want to eat everything in sight. But my favorite thing to go for after a really long race is to go for Mexican food. I don't know why, it's just always what I want after an especially hard effort. So there you go, pre and post race meals. Number 10, what is your favorite costume that you have run in? I've only really ever run in, I've run in kind of costume-ish pieces before, but no, specific characters until the marathon this last year where I ran as Minnie Mouse. And so that's my favorite. I made sure that it was still comfortable, but you could still definitely recognize me as Minnie Mouse. So that's probably my favorite one that I have done. And I still use elements of that and still can show up as Minnie Mouse anytime that I feel like I'm in a Disney mood. And number 11, what costume are you looking forward to next? I would love to do some sort of a princess costume next. It's just kind of hard to narrow it down with all the princesses that I like because I would love to run maybe as Merida. I would love to run as Belle, who has been one of my favorites since I was in high school. Or I would like to, since I'm a huge Piglet fan, I would love to be able to put together a recognizable Piglet costume. So that would be fun as well. Or if I could put together some sort of a Marvel character costume, I would love that as well, which I know is not, strictly classic Disney, which is kind of what they go for during Disney weekend or Princess weekend or something like that. Maybe something along those lines, or just kind of depending on whatever race I choose to do, kind of finding something around the medal design for that. For instance, if I were doing the marathon weekend this next time, which I'm not able to fit that into my schedule, but I'd have to come up with some sort of a 90s themed classic Disney costume, so really it just kind of depends on the race, but I would love to put together some sort of a princess outfit. So that's what's next on the horizon. So there you go. Those are my answers to the Run Disney tag. I'm going to have all of those questions down in the description below, as well as links to the 3 YouTubers that I would like to tag because I would like to hear their answers. And I'm going to be tagging Estrella Contreras. I'm going to be tagging Rice Runner. And I'm going to be tagging Laura Runs and Eats. So if you would like to check them out, their links are going to be down in the description below so that you can see their channels as well as all of the questions that I have answered today. So there you go, my answers to the Run Disney tag. Did you find this fun or entertaining? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below. This is your second reminder that if you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the running adventures I have coming out all the time. You can also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thanks so much for watching. I'm so glad you could be here. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. See you guys later.